Hey guys, Spudknocker here, as always, and today I wanted to take a look at something completely and totally different that I've never done on my channel, and that is move to a AAA first-person shooter game instead of playing the very boutique and intricate and complicated flight simulator that is DCS World. Now there is a reason for that. Back in the day, back in the 2007, when the original Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare came out, I was a kid, of course, and it definitely helped me get through some tough times. I got pretty sick as a kid, and Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare was definitely some good escapism. I played it online with my cousin along with Halo 3, and it was a really good way to kind of get out of reality and get into some fun escapism, and as well as a good way to keep in touch with family online. And in having that nostalgia and seeing the trailers and marketing for this new Call of Duty Modern Warfare game, kind of having it revamped and kind of bringing the magic back to Call of Duty, I really wanted to take a look at it, and it looked like the storyline they were telling was very, very interesting to me from the perspective of a historian and expert in geopolitics around the world. It looks like they've taken a lot of inspiration from, of course, Syria and the Syrian Civil War that's been raging for a number of years now, as well as Afghanistan and the Soviet Invasion of Afghanistan, the Al-Qaeda and other terrorist groups like that. In fact, that's not really much of a inspiration there. They kind of pretty much copied that. I mean, the terrorist name and terrorist group name here in the game is Al-Qatala. That's not much of a stretch there. So I figured we'd take a look at the campaign from the perspective of a historian and a perspective of geopolitics and play through it together and hopefully learn some stuff and dig in and dissect some of the inspirations that Infinity Ward used to create this campaign and the storyline. So why don't we go ahead and dig on in. So I played a little bit just to get my controls set up.
Our war is not for our fate. We fight to remove all foreign power from our soil. We are Al-Qatala. We are the killers.
Uh-oh.
We fight without sorrow. We wage war without sympathy. This is the only way to live and die a true soldier.
Oh, that's not good. So obviously that looks inspired by the terrorist attacks that we saw all over Europe the past few years.
Go for actual.
LZ is in sight.
Looks like our boys are right on time, Colonel.
Roger 3-1. Hitman teams are locked and loaded for assault. You are green to go.
Colonel, we may have a problem.
Too late, Laswell. We're live.
Not until I say so. Watch it at 3-1, how copy?
Station Chief Laswell, send traffic.
General Barkov has sent a new shipment of chlorine gas to his depot. But his mercs are prepping to move the chems into Urzikstan via convoy tonight. You're still clear to engage, but live fire on Russian military is prohibited. We cannot have an international incident.
No guarantees Russian army won't respond on this case.
Understood, Alex. Just locate the gas, commandeer Barkov's trucks, and get off the exit before the tide turns.
Copy, Watcher. We'll handle it.
Let's move. All hitman teams push to your set point.
Alright,
Need to keep
there goes
this
the
on a
red.
tight loop. Markov's men are moving the gas tonight.
So let's go ahead and pause it for just a moment here and talk about what we just saw. Obviously that kind of foreshadowing of a terrorist attack somewhere. I'm guessing probably Europe or someplace like that. It sure looked like Europe and a little like scene there where the suicide bomber jumped out of the truck. We can see that that is obviously inspired by recent events, the terrorist attacks that swept across Europe, most notably in France with that large shooting that occurred in France. I believe it was in 2014, maybe. And so we can see that obviously this game is definitely inspired by real events that happened in the past. And so obviously this is taking kind of a more gritty and more real depiction and look at the war on terror, or this fictional war on terror that we're seeing here in the campaign with a fictional country called Urzikstan. And I think that comes from a lot of popular culture these days, taking a far more gritty look at what is happening on the ground, whether that's TV shows, movies, things like that. I think that a lot of inspiration for this campaign personally came from the Jack Ryan series. It's now on Amazon. I think that was a big influencer.
General Barkov. Russian general wouldn't be caught dead out here.
And of course, the whole idea of poison gas, chlorine gas, and chemical weapons obviously is a big news topic these days. Graphics are pretty stunning. Wow. The way this forest looks and the way the light looks. And just so you guys know.
Heads up.
Uh-oh.
Hearing two. Looking for us. 2 mercs, no uniforms.
Эй, кто здесь? Выйди, покажись!
Okay, drop them.
We're clear. Copy. Close up on the ridge.
A little close to my buddy's ear there. And so obviously chemical weapons are a big deal here in 2019. It's been in the news for a long time, especially a big part of Trump's presidency with the whole red line that he drew in the sand that was crossed multiple times by the Syrian regime, and of course with help by the Russians in Syria. But of course we'll get more into that later.
Call for fire. Stand by for target confirmation.
Copy, 3-1. Viking standing by.
Let's recce the area and make sure there's no Russian army down there.
Medium transport truck.
Transport for the gas.
Movement in the rail yard.
That's how the gas comes in. Vehicles on the move.
Patrol vehicle. Contractors.
Security. Good targets. No Russian military presence. Call it in, CIA.
Blue Viking 5, this is Echo 3-1. Troops in the open, south gate. You are cleared hot.
Roger, 3-1. Target acquired. Weapons free in 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
Wow. That's some cool effects.
Echo 3-1. Good effect on target. Viking is RTB. Good hunting.
Much obliged, Viking. We'll take it from here.
Look like Harriers? Maybe? So Verdansk is in southern Russia, an area of southern Russia that's been in conflict for a long time with Russian military forces fighting Muslim rebels in the area. You may have heard of the Chechnyan conflicts. That is kind of centered around this area here. So it makes sense that this would be kind of the setting of this campaign mission.
Smoke them now.
Clear. Force up.
Looks like someone was playing with fire. Serves them right, hawking this chemical shit.
So that weapon that those looked like Harriers dropped as they flew over. I think those sure looked like Harriers as they flew over. I think were supposed to be like some sort of cluster munition, maybe like a CBU 97 or something like that. But it's kind of hard to tell. Whoop. I mean, it is Call of Duty. They're not exactly going for the authenticity of the weapons dropped by fighter jets flying over. Or in this case, Harriers, so attack jets. The graphics are pretty darn stunning, that's for sure. And I think you guys probably like seeing this in ultra-wide 1080p. Whoop. Jeez. Guess this guy couldn't shoot for shit. Did you hit that guy?
Stay frosty.
Alright. Let's take a look.
Stay sharp. We're blind on this breach.
Contact!
Oh.
Got an empty nest on that second deck! He's dug in! Lay some pressure to get up there! Shit! Get down! Good suppression! Flank up! Take him out!
Force out! We need to secure the gas before they move it.
Got a runner! Let's move! Got one by the barrier! Got a target! Get moving! Got a runner! Target down! Enemy by the building! Offline! Get dialed! Free the building! Grenade! Move! Hey, cover me! Move now!
Oh, that was not good. I got shot. Uh-oh, uh-oh.
Shut him down! Got it! One's by the crate! Got a visual!
I think I just saw a rat walk by. That was kind of crazy.
Let's get up behind that gun! Let's move! Let that fucker out! Get lit on that gun net!
That was not good. I almost killed myself with a grenade. Awesome. So, I mean, there's not much in the way of political interesting intrigue here in this mission. But it really shows off the beautiful graphics, and man, I have a pretty darn solid machine. I'm surprised it is able to pump out the frames in this with such high graphics settings.
One's in the open! Got a visual! Enemy southwest! Got a visual!
Alright, looks like I got some sort of a Glock type pistol. And interestingly, I think in real life, if this were a real mission, I think they would probably be in this kind of a very politically sensitive scenario where you may end up engaging Russian forces. These guys may, in real life, want to carry like some Russian type weapons, like AK-47, AKM, AK-74 type weapons, so that
Chems may be
it
inside.
doesn't appear they don't leave 5.56 shell casings lying around all over the place for the Russians to find and say, "Holy crap, there's Americans here." But it is a video game, of course, but it's kind of part of the fun of this kind of idea of kind of going through and taking a kind of a more critical and historical or geopolitical look at the game and its storyline.
You hear that? Whoever killed the powers in here, I'm telling you, could have been the airstrike. Well, they're here.
Yeah, I would have to guess that.
Shit.
Whoop, shit.
Find him.
I saw that.
He's down.
That was close. why we didn't bring night vision goggles, I couldn't tell you. But I guess NVGs with gas masks on are also pretty tough to work with.
Got him.
Ooh, that was close.
Movement on the catwalk. Got one moving to the front. Anyone else can be moved?
Ouch. I got shot. Oh no. I can't see anyone. Got him. Let's see.
Clear!
All clear. Let's get the power up. Shed some light, find this gas.
Roger, 3-1.
Looking. On it. Checking for power.
Find the power, locate the gas, and let's hit the
There we
road.
go.
Lights coming on.
Power's up.
Hey! We got a problem. These guys are Russian army.
That's not good.
3-1 to Watcher. Barkov's hired guns or Spetsnaz. We got Russian army KIA. We need to bug out now.
Negative. Command wants mission accomplished on this. Not our choice.
Never is. 3-1 out.
Verify this is what we came for. We'll get the
All right.
egress.
Raj.
So let's pause it for just a quick second here. So let's talk about that little engagement there. We were back there. We had our rifles up, of course. They had their rifles up. We're shooting at each other. But even though these guys are wearing NVGs, in that certain engagement back there, we had the huge advantage of the fact that we were blinding them with their NVGs on with our white flashlights that are attached to our helmets. You definitely wouldn't want to be wearing NVGs while having someone point a white light flashlight in your eyes, because it'll bloom out the NVGs, it'll get super bright, it'll definitely hurt, and it'll totally blind you. So I don't know if that's an oversight on the NVG, or sorry, on Activision's part of putting NVGs on these guys, or if they're just stupid enough not to take them off when they see guys with flashlights running around. So let's go test these barrels. No one ever accused the Russians of being smart, that's for sure. They may be ruthless, but maybe not smart.
Solid copy, 3-1. Load up and get back to base.
Alright, Hoyt, let's go.
Let's move out.
Alright, where are we supposed to go? Ah, there we go.
All stations, we are Oscar Mike to the RV. Watch your sectors.
Good work, Alex. Rally at the hook point for egress.
Oh.
Watcher to 3-1.
Oh, jeez.
I got you.
We're screwed.
I got you, 3-1.
No, buddy. Is that Hoyt? Not Hoyt.
Who the fuck is this?
Uh-oh. Well, they're speaking Arabic now, so... I think these guys are trying to take the gas, too. He's wearing a soccer jersey, so I'm guessing he's probably Middle Eastern. They like soccer there. And he's speaking Arabic. But they didn't shoot us. That's a really cool animation.
Alex, what happened?
Terrorist attack. Multiple Marines KIA. Gas stolen. We need evac now.
Roger. Tracking multiple Russian forces headed your way. Sit tight. We're pushing to you for fast exfil. Watch her out.
Oh, man.
This operation is now compartmentalized.
What the hell does that mean?
Means you no longer have clearance, Colonel.
Those are my Marines. We need a QRF. In there right now.
That's not advisable.
And that is not your call.
Colonel, Laswell.
General, my men.
Norris, give us a minute.
Yes, ma'am.
These,
We
cinematics are far more taxing than the actual gameplay itself.
Channels. The Sixth Fleet is pushing into the Black Sea, and chemical weapons are now in the wild. Your fingerprints are all over this, Laswell. Fix it.
General, right now intelligence is our best weapon.
We've tried intelligence. Get me a better weapon.
John,
Laswell,
where are you?
occupied.
I've got a problem.
Russians?
Word travels fast. Chemical weapons have fallen into terrorist hands. They could be anywhere. Paris, New York.
London.
When can you brief?
We just did.
Sergeant Garrick, roger up.
Go for Garrick.
Uh-oh, looks like there's gonna be a terrorist attack. That's not good.
Multiple attackers. Bombers or something worse.
Do we have snipers in position?
Negative, Sergeant. Can't unduly alarm the public.
Terrorists know that too, sir.
Garrick, don't turn London into a war zone, clear?
Yeah, Crystal. Out.
Looks like we're on our own, lads.
We'll handle it. Let's get it done, yeah?
Hey, firm.
Sergeant? Heads up. White van.
Weapons in view.
That's them. Saber to Raven. White van, multiple military-age males. Weapons visible. Moving to intercept.
Roger. Unless an attack is imminent, do not engage.
White van.
So, I mean, they really wanted to make this kind of a political thriller. I mean, it's very, very obvious. I think it got very many things and threads that you can tie to a lot of really popular shows and popular movies and things like that in the past so often since 2007 when the original Modern Warfare came out. And I mean, things have really changed in the world since then. I mean, we do have Russians as the bad guy in that last mission, but it seems like they're trying to go a bit deeper and a bit more complicated, which I really like. It's good to see that, but I'm a little bit nervous about what we're going to see here in this mission. It may strike a little too close to home, but I'm sure that's what they're kind of going for, but we'll see how it goes.
Go, go!
Come here! Don't fucking move! Police! Police! Get your hands up now! Get down on the ground! Right now! Not gonna tell you again!
Whoa. That wasn't good.
Brooks got me! Fucking got it!
Saber 2, what the hell is going on down there?
There's been a detonation at Piccadilly Circus. Shots fired. Officers down. We need medical down here now.
What they did to our home?
Not done yet. Let's move.
Have to try and not hit innocent bystanders here. Oh. And we already did. Awesome. Well, this mission is definitely gonna upset some people, that's for sure. Oh no. Alright, FALs. So there's FALs laying on the ground. Let's kind of... This mission's kind of crazy, so why don't we approach this as kind of more of a forensic kind of a look at this. So there's FALs laying on the ground. These guys obviously are shooting weapons that are far above what we have as beat cops driving around London for the most part. And that is that FALs, of course, are considered the right arm of the free world back in the Cold War. Everyone in NATO, everyone that was a ally of the Western world was shipped FALs by the European powers, namely France and Belgium. And so... I'm sorry, the UK and Belgium, not France. And so they're pretty prevalent around the world, especially in places like Africa, as well as if these guys somehow source these weapons in the black market, they could probably find a whole bunch of them in the UK under designation L1A1. So let's go ahead and resume the game. We probably want to pick up one of these guys in order to help us out. This looks like a very modern version or iteration of the FAL. So let's talk about that. One reason why a police officer or a first responder in a situation like this may not want to pick up a weapon and use it, even if it does give them an advantage over the bad guys, or kind of help bring them up to par with the bad guys, is if you're firing a weapon that sounds like what the bad guys are using, that makes you a target. Or if it looks like you're a bad guy because you picked up one of those big guns, and everyone else, all the cops, all the anti-terrorist units, things like that, are using pistols or sidearms, then you probably don't want to pick up the bad guy's weapon because you make it mistaken as the bad guy's itself. So let's go ahead and continue on. And there's a looks like a FAMAS. I don't know why they're not calling it a FAMAS. So that's a more interesting weapon. Obviously, it's a French weapon, so why would terrorists be using FAMASes in London? Well, they may have sourced them on the black market somewhere in France, or if we look at the history of France and where they've been conducting counter-terrorist operations, namely the countries of Mali and Chad, and sometimes even in Western Sahara, we can take a look at that, and they can see that maybe they were stolen from a French forward operating base or a French supply dump in Mali or Chad, or maybe they were stolen from armories in France and sold on the black market, or a little bit more gruesome, maybe they were taken off of the bodies of French soldiers who may have been killed during engagements with terrorists in these anti-terrorist activities that went on in the countries of like Western Sahara or Mali or Chad. So let's go ahead and keep on going. Obviously, this is a bit of a gut-wrenching. Oh, he's a good guy. Oh shit. Oh shit. Did not see that guy up there. So as a result, we'll try and do this as realistically as we can and try and keep our sidearm for the most part. Where are we supposed to go? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, those are good guys. Can't get out there. It's got an FAL. Oh shit, I did? I don't think I did. Okay, that's a cop. Whoa. Oh jeez. That's not good. But yeah, this is a pretty intense mission if I've ever seen one. There we go. Ooh, that was gruesome. That's not good. There's still shooting going on over here, so we gotta go back to this building. See if we can get the bad guys out of this building.
This is Saber 2. Bookshop.
Alright, they got AK-47s on the ground. Dragon off sniper rifle. Those are probably pretty easy to source from conflict zones around the world.
All units responding to the explosion in Leicester Square. All units responding to the explosion in Leicester Square. From Alpha Whiskey 2, be mindful of possible further attacks. Ambulances are on the way to preliminary RVPs at Charing Cross Road and Whitcomb Street. I'll say again, RVPs will be at Charing Cross Road and Whitcomb Street. Med control out.
Alright, let's see.
Gas
Whoa!
No! No! I see you. You armed up?
Yes, sir.
Captain Price.
Sergeant Garrick.
You with me?
Alright, it's Captain Price. Woohoo! He's the hero.
Check those corners.
Help!
Hostages, up top.
Someone! Someone, please! Help us!
Get it off me! Please, get it off me! Sergeant, I need you over here. Help me! Help me, I'm not one of them! All stations, we have a man with a bomb strapped to him. Keep on time. Look, open! I want to see. Can you help him?
I'm trying.
They're missing my girl! It's going off.
I can't get it.
No time! Help me! Help me! Wait! What are you doing? No!
Whoa.
All stations, bomb is clear. Prep medical are coming up. Okay, everybody stay calm. We're gonna get you out of here.
Well, I guess this is kind of the hard decisions kind of thing that they showed off in a lot of their marketing materials of like things that real people face in real life situations where you can't always save everyone or be the hero, I suppose, but it definitely hits pretty close to home and is pretty darn scary, to be quite honest.
This shouldn't have happened in the first place, sir. They sent us in half-assed. So everyone can just keep pretending we're not at war.
Yeah, like the fucking century, that is.
Why have we got our hands tied? Let's just take the bloody gloves off and fight. Sir.
Go on.
We don't stand a chance in hell with these rules of engagement, Captain. They can tell us where, they can tell us when. Don't tell us how. My men were tracking that cell for weeks.
You had actionable intel on this?
Quite a bit, sir.
Okay, Garrett. You're with me.
Al-Qatala's claiming responsibility.
Oh, orders from the Wolf and Urzikstan.
There's an SU-25 Frogfoot.